Hi, Mark. Thank you so much for joining me today on Transform and Thrive podcast. It is so lovely to meet a like-minded person who's so passionate about hypnotherapy. And so we stumbled upon each other on a Facebook group, and then we started having a conversation, didn't we? So do you want to just start by introducing yourself and how we met, really, and what you do, really? That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's great to be on with you and everything else, because I know we can talk forever, and we've got such a passion for everything that we do and everything to do with it. But crossing paths, that was another thing we talked about, crossing paths, and that's how we met, sort of thing, which is brilliant, But anyway, my name is Mark Hockey. Obviously, I'm a hypnotherapist as well. How did I become a hypnotherapist? Let's get quickly into that, because obviously you're going to do yours as well, Rachel. So I've always been into the unknown. I always loved the unknown, the things you don't know about. What is it all about? The unexplained files that my dad used to get weekly, monthly, whatever it is, years and years ago. I used to read through them going, this is fascinating, this is excellent, this is fantastic. So I've always been interested in the things that sometimes you can't see, but you know they're there. And it's just gripping hold of it and finding out what it really is and what it can do for everyone in the world, sort of thing. That's part of the hypnotherapy, why I got into hypnotherapy. But it was a long story. It's from being into spirituality at one point, being a medium in the UK and doing platform work because of spirit and seeing spirit and giving messages out. But again, I was a Samaritan, a trainer with the Samaritans. But the problem is with everything there was that I couldn't really help people. I was giving them everything, the messages, being there with them, training people to do certain things, but not helping enough people how to resolve things in their life, what's holding them back, what's restricting their life. And that's where I had a stumbling block and thought, this isn't me. This is, okay, I love all that stuff, but I just want to help people to resolve what's really going on in their life. Yes, and I studied into counselling, CBT, psychology and everything else. It just didn't click or tick the right boxes for me because it took too long, too many sessions. Why was it taking so long? I found out after years and years of helping other people why they went to it and what was going on with that and why it failed in many times with it. It's great, it can calm things down, same as meds, it can calm things down, but do they really resolve the core issues? Now, when I got into hypnotherapy and I looked into that and I studied into that, I went, wow, this is different. This is something working on a different side of the mind. Now, that ticks all the boxes for me. And I went, wow, I've got to get deep into this. This is, again, the unknown, because you don't know what's going on, what goes on with hypnotherapy. So I studied more into it. And then I found out that it actually worked in a different side of the mind. And that side of the mind had all the issues that people had, that triggered things in their life, all the symptoms in their life, anxiety, depression, worries, fears, whatever it's going to be. And that was what I wanted to get to. That was it. And it made me smile. The minute I saw that, I went, this is my route, this is my journey, and that's where I want to be. So that's me in a nutshell. I don't want to take too much time, but that's me in a nutshell. That's my journey, and that's where I've got to be where I am today, really.
Wonderful. And I love the passion. You can hear the passion in your voice. And I'm similar, actually, because I was going through a divorce and my children had decided to go and live with their dad, who was in a second marriage. But it gave me that space of who am I really if I'm not a full-time mum? And I felt really broken. It wasn't just, oh, never mind. It was absolutely like life-changing. But a friend suggested that I could be a psychotherapist, and I what do you do with that? How long does that take to train? It sounds a bit heavy to me. But I did think I could be a counsellor. So I was booked in on a course that was local. It was actually an in-person course. And it's so funny how the universe works, because I had to do hypnotherapy as the first year in that training. Wasn't interested in that. If someone had said go on a hypnotherapy course, it would have been an absolute no, you can't make me. And I would have stamped my feet and made sure I didn't go. But isn't it interesting that I thought the carrot was at the counselling thing and I was just going to sleepwalk through the hypnotherapy? And that isn't what happened, because as I was Googling the homework, there was a video I watched about how you can make your subconscious mind work for you instead of against you. And I was like, ooh, that's interesting. I want to know more. So I got into that more, and then I realized that I could actually train with that as well. So I was doing both hypnotherapy methods at the same time. And then still with no real interest in what I was going to do after it. I got the certificate I qualified in June 2018. But I was still just going to file it and like, never mind, what's next? And I was really still kind of looking forward to the counselling bit. And the in-person hypnotherapy course wasn't the best. It was just general screeds of relaxing, and you may notice a flower, or you might notice a this or that. Didn't really shift the gears. But what really got me in the driving seat of it was that my daughter was going through a flare-up of her autoimmune disease just as I qualified. It was October of the same year. And so I thought, well, I don't want her to be on medication again. She couldn't face it. I couldn't watch her being sick every weekend. We got used to that as a normal in our lives, of just being around the toilet watching her be ill. And so she'd been in drug-induced remission for 6 weeks. And in that time, she started pain and symptoms again. So we'd seen what normal life was like in those 6 weeks. And then they were saying, you need to go back on it. And we're like, no, I don't think so. Now, I just qualified in this method. I believed in the method. I didn't believe in me. But I said to Emily, let's just have a session and see what happens. If I do 52 sessions, if I do 1 a week for the next year, and we minimize the pain, isn't that something? She said, yeah, I suppose. What do I need to do? She's 14. So we had a session, and it wasn't the best session I've ever done, but it was an amazing session nevertheless, because it was like step 1, relax the client. Step 2, go back to root cause. Step 3, oh, this is working. What do you mean you need to be like everybody else? Everybody needs to be their own. I don't understand. This isn't, so I started having the doubts, but it was the parts therapy part that really shifted the gears, finding out what the role was, what the plan, the aim and the goal was. And then it was like, oh, you need pain to be like everybody else, your cousins, your brother and me. And that was exciting, because when we could really look at the nuts and bolts behind it all, and everybody else wasn't in pain, but even if they were, she could see that her pain wasn't helping anybody. She was just absorbing it. And so she was able to let go of it in that one session. So I guess that sort of catapulted me along into, because she was doing this at the end of it as well. And I was like, what's that all about? She said, oh, I'm just clicking my joints back into place. I was like, oh, okay. Is it working? You're still sort of disbelief, because you've still been in the paradigm of the drugs and medication thing, because we've been in that cycle for far too long. And so to do that in one session was a real game changer in my head. It was just like, have we? No, can't have. Have we? Well, I'm not in pain. Look at me, Mum, I can kneel down. And she was doing all that straight after the session. Look, I can kneel. Look, I can this. Look, and I'm like, wow. And I'm, my head was really sort of exploded, because who knew that we had that power? And it's that power, that passion that I bring to every client I work with, because it's like, oh, it's that curiosity. If I can do that, what else can we do together? What else can we release? Because there's a story behind every single symptom that we have. The subconscious mind absolutely knows how, when, where, why it began. And it's just there waving this flag at you, demanding really that you take notice. Would you agree?
Absolutely, yeah, totally, 100%. Because one thing when you just reminded me of is another thing is about evidence. It's about showing people something works, and if it does, that's where you'll get your clients from. You can tell the world you can heal everybody if you want, but until you got the evidence, you don't have anything really. And again, with what you had with your daughter sort of thing, my one was the first thing I did was I had a fear of needles. And I wouldn't be here today unless I had a blood transfusion when I was a baby. So I said, I'm going to pay that back at some point in my life. I'm going to give blood when I can, but I couldn't, because I had a fear of needles. And this happened when I was a little boy, and I had leg pains, knee pains, and they tried to get blood out of me. I was skinny as a rake, and they couldn't find a vein. They tried, and it gave me a fear of needles anyway. So that was a stop for me. But what the first thing I did when I was a hypnotherapist, passed all my exams and everything else, went, I'm going to do this on myself. I'm going to change why I've got this fear. I'm going to find out where it comes from. I'm going to change it. I'm going to do something about it so I don't have it no more. And if that works, I know, again, it's the evidence, the unexplained, the things I don't know. So I did it. I've done a session on myself sort of thing. I booked a time to go and take blood, and I did it, and I filmed it, and I couldn't believe I was sitting there actually doing it. And I was showing the video to my wife sort of thing, live, going, I'm here, I'm doing it. This is brilliant. Hypnotherapy works. Now, if it works for me, then I know it's going to work for other people, because it's all about self-help, really, at the end of the day. If you want change 100%, not because somebody else wants you to change, it's going to happen. It's going to work. It's going to be 100% guaranteed because you want that change. Okay, so if someone comes to me or yourself for giving up smoking sort of thing, and they want to give up for themselves, but if someone's telling them to give up and they don't want to give up, it's not going to
it's not going to stick the same way at all. Absolutely.
Stop them. If they come here, or to yourself or any hypnotherapist, and to give up for themselves 100%, it's going to happen. So that's the main thing.
Mm-hmm. It's a placebo effect as well, isn't it? Where it has to be in your own change. You can't make somebody do anything. So it's all about, the subconscious mind knows how to heal given the right circumstances and the right conditions. So once we've gone to the root, the emotional root of why it started in the first place, and then you flatline that emotion because you've released it, so that when they look at it again, they're like, oh, I'm done with that. I don't even need to think about that anymore. That's just beautiful, isn't it? Because it means you've got the root, and it's just not feeding anything anymore. It's just not, there's no emotional charge to it. And that is like, haha, that's great. Because then you've got that flat line, and then when you think about it, it just feels like it happened to somebody else. And I've released a lot of trauma that I've been through using this method as well. And it feels like I didn't know how much my life had impacted my past, had impacted my now moment, if you like, or lots of my now moments, because there's a massive trauma I went through at 19. I've written Me Too But Never Again chapter in a book. So I hadn't realized that event had really impacted me, because it had lowered my sense of self-worth, my self-trust. I gave my power away to everybody. I don't know, what do you think? Okay, that was me, and bent myself out of shape completely, falling for everybody else's whims and whys, and not believing in me. And to heal that, and to really feel the release of that, so that, well, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now if I hadn't, because my lack of feeling who I am wouldn't be there, and I would just be some sort of robot doing something somewhere else, instead of standing up and then, no, this is powerful. If I can do that with an autoimmune disease, and it's not me doing it, she did it, but I'm just the guide. And it's all of that. It's just healing it so that you can feel whole. And I always talk about my little sparkly diamond, because that is who you are, isn't it?
We got one of those.
The diamond that you are, and that energy that's made of love, that is you, that you feel all covered with it, because it's the trauma that makes you feel bad and gives you all those stories of, I'm not enough, and I can't, and nobody will love me, and blah, 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 I'm worthless, hopeless, helpless, all those stuff. I'm not enough, basically. And when you release all those old beliefs, you come back to your sparkle. And it's wonderful. It's ever so liberating, isn't it? Because you don't really care about what other people think of you. You're swimming in your own lane. Yeah. And it's an eye-opener. Sometimes it sort of makes me scratch my head when you look back and you see how you were. And it's like, talk about a contrast. It's just so, mind-blowing, really.
So I know exactly how hypnotherapy works. So let's talk about the myths and misconceptions. I can't even get my teeth in straight. About hypnotherapy, about the fears that people have. Now, it does happen. I'll have a client come in and I'll ask them, I say, well, what's your worry about hypnotherapy? What do you know about hypnotherapy? Some say, I know a little bit about it. I've seen it on stage. I've seen it on TV. I've seen it when I went to a holiday camp, whatever it's going to be. Yeah, that's hypnosis. I said, but they're forcing them or they're making them or they're controlling them into being something they don't want to be, like clucking like chickens, like the normal thing that people say and everything else. I said, well, not really. I said, what you're seeing is they're trying to produce something to make you believe that they're being controlled by someone. It's impossible. No one in this world can control anybody. You know, your Darren Browns, the hypnotists, anyone cannot control anybody in this world. Your mind is your own. Your subconscious mind will only listen to you and no one else. We can help you to get into your subconscious mind to find what you need to change, what requirements, desires you need in your life, and that's how we work. So the point of people going on stage and everything, they bought the tickets, they want to have fun, they want to go there, they want to get on stage. But you'll see many people that don't, you know, and obviously the hypnotist will do certain things in the audience to test who wants to get up, who's happy to get up, and he'll pull them people up onto the stage. The rest of them don't want to, and they just want to see the show. It's great. That's how it works. But you will see, you know, the people on the stage, one will probably pop out and say, oh, I don't fancy this. My mind doesn't want to do this. And he will stop or she will stop. And you'll see the hypnotist going, oh, you go and sit down and I'll carry on with the rest. That's how it works. Then people on the stage are actually in control of their own minds, are in control of everything that they're doing on that stage. They're accepting everything they're being asked to do and they want to do it. That's how it works. So as a hypnotherapist, what we do, we use hypnosis and we use therapy to help people to relax, which is hypnosis, and everyone goes into that every day of their lives anyway, which I'll explain in a minute. But the therapy side is where we can help you to get into your subconscious mind, to find what issue you've got there and to resolve it. And there's many different ways of doing it, as you know, we both know that. But we know we got a toolbox full of experiences and knowledge that we can help everybody, because everybody's different. But again, do you want to explain about hypnosis and, you know, what it means to everyone?
Yes, I think that's such a big thing, because one of my first clients was like, oh, you're going to make me look like a chicken. And no, that's the exact opposite, actually. What I'm going to do is relax you just by talking to you. And if you want to get out of the room, you can do. It's your free will. Everybody's got free will. You can do as you please, or you can choose to stay and just be curious enough to see what's actually going to happen. And it's just about you being relaxed. We have that it's in a natural state of awareness that we're all in. We go in and out of it all the time. It's like watching a film and you're absorbed in the characters. You're crying when they cry, you laugh when they laugh. You're not thinking, I wonder how many takes that took. This thing, you know, you're not thinking that. You're just in it. It's real to you in that moment. And that's all it is. And it's like that movie being played in your head, and it's your life. You've got the images. It's like daydreaming. It's the same as driving a car and you're doing this back and forward, this regular job, maybe going to work. And you're like, how did I get to this set of traffic lights already? I was thinking about the argument I had with my husband. I was thinking about what's for tea. I was thinking about all the to-do lists. So when I get there, and then you're like, oh, it's because your subconscious mind took over, and while your conscious mind was thinking about something completely different. So that's what it is. It's just a natural state. It's the being half awake, being half asleep, in bed at night every single night. It's all of that. So it's not, and it's, again, like you said, it's free will. You choose whether you sit there with your eyes closed or you choose to go up and make yourself coffee. I can't make you decide which one of those you're going to choose. It's your life. However, if you want to release what's holding you back, release the anxiety, release the depression, release your autoimmune disease, release the addiction to a substance, it's all in your subconscious. It knows, and it's all emotional, because that's the language that the subconscious mind uses. The emotion, it's not logical. That's your 5% of your brain. The 95% is all on emotion. And that's why with logic or emotion, the emotion will always win, because it's that subconscious, that 95%. It's heavy weight, isn't it? And so it's going back, and it's that wounded part of us that run the show. So if you feel triggered, it's because that little 6-year-old is going, I can't do this. This feels overwhelming. Well, of course it does. It's your 6-year-old self that feels overwhelmed, not your adult you. So it's just about looking at how, when, where, why it began. So then we can look at the real truth. And the real truth is that you are lovable, that you do matter, that you're here on the planet right here, right now for a reason. And so it's about empowering you from those old beliefs that you took on before you were even aware that you took it on, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. As you say, going back to hypnosis, it's all self-hypnosis, and everybody goes into hypnosis every day of their life. When I say that to clients that come here, and I say, what do you know about hypnotherapy or hypnosis? And they go, well, not a lot. And so, well, you go into hypnosis every day of your life, like you're saying about sleep and awake and watching a film, reading a book, forget the world for a moment, mass hypnosis, driving from A to B, hypnosis. And they go, oh, wow, yeah, I do that every day. Well, you do it every day. What I'm going to do is just show you how to do it for yourself right now. And that's all it is. There's no magic wand. There's no hammer that's going to hit you on the head. And you're just going to, I'm going to show you how to relax yourself.
No watches either.
No, they used to do it. Some people still use them, actually. That's old style. But it's, again, just taking your mind in a direction away from the world. It's just that's how hypnosis is. It's just relaxing your mind down, because once your mind's relaxed, your conscious mind goes to step aside. Your subconscious mind's there with you. Now, your subconscious mind is where all your issues are. You set them up. And I know this is a horrible thing I always say to people, is that whatever issues you've got in your life, whatever symptoms you've got, are just triggered by an issue. So if you've got anxiety or depression or a fear of something, you've actually set something up in your subconscious mind. And also, your subconscious mind is your best friend. Because if you say something to your subconscious mind, it's going to only listen to you and no one else. Not me, not anyone else, but yourself. And once you say something like, give me the fear of flying, for instance, that's what's going to happen. So every time you're going to get near a plane, your subconscious mind's going to trigger the fear of flying. That's what it is. And all we do as hypnotherapists go, right, let's go back in and find out where you set this fear up. And now you can change it. No one else can. I wish I could. It'd be done in seconds. But you can go and do that. And I'm going to show you how to do it. So the relaxation is conscious mind steps aside, stops questioning everything. The subconscious goes, hey, I've got that fear of flying. Do you want to do something with it? Let's do it. And that's how everything works. How stop smoking, the fears are stopped, the anxieties are stopped, the triggers are stopped. And that's really what we do. We just know how to help you to get into your mind, your subconscious mind, and resolve anything you wish you want to do, that you desire to change. I can't change anything in anyone's mind, but I can help you do it. I can get you onto a journey where that is, where you need to do it. And that's the basics.
And it's usually not what you think it is, right? No. The root, that's so funny. It's like I had a client way in the beginning about fear of birds. Now, that wasn't really what I was going to specialise in. It never was. But I was interested enough to go, okay, let's have a look and see what it was. Do you know what it was? It was a fear of her dad, but she couldn't vocalize that she was scared of her dad. She was only little. He wasn't scary really, but he was bigger and taller and quite gruff voice. And so she put the fear of birds. Her mind got confused because there was an incident, and it sort of transferred the fear onto the birds, because she could talk about that, but she couldn't talk about her dad. Isn't that interesting? So it's never what you really think it is. Mine was a fear of every time I wanted to stand up. I wanted to do a workshop right in the beginning again about anxiety in person. But I had a problem, because my problem was every time I stood up to talk, it felt like I was having an asthma attack. I couldn't breathe. It was like someone was sitting on my chest. Well, no one's going to listen to me talking like that, especially if they've got to pay for it. So I knew I'd got to do something about it. No idea where that came from. It went back to me being 5 years old at school and standing up. I was made to stand up. I had a maths question, which I got right. But then instead of praising me, she just gave me another question. And I was trying to find a 3p piece in the coin tray, which of course doesn't exist. But I was just 5. I worked in a bank for 18 years, so I got the hang of it. But my subconscious mind hadn't caught up with that. It was like, oh, don't you remember when you were 5 years old and that scary teacher asked you to do the maths question? You got the maths question right. Then she gave you a surprising question that you didn't know the answer to. And then it felt like decades. I was just going through this coin tray trying to find this 3p piece instead of a combination. And it was that fear, because I just wanted to run away. And it's the emotional drive. How do I feel? I felt scared, vulnerable, stupid, helpless, hopeless, wanted to run away, but I couldn't. All of those. And so my subconscious mind was going, you don't want to feel like that again. I have a cunning plan. Just like bouldering out a Blackadder, right? It is that, isn't it? You know, so it's just then comes up this plan that you've got no rhyme or reason to stop you doing that thing that's scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is that, you know, everyone's set up an issue in their life, whatever the problem is, the symptom is, sort of thing. As you say, you know, I remember there's so many examples, you know, I've seen over the years, but ones that stick out quite strong is that I remember a guy that comes to me, quite a big guy, I mean, he was 6 foot or something, scary guy. He goes, 1, you're not going to hypnotize me. 2, you're never going to change me, but I do need change. And I was like, okay, fair enough. I'll explain to you what hypnotherapy is first. But once he understood, as we've been talking about, everyone goes to hypnosis every day of their life. I showed him how to do it. Within minutes, he was relaxed. He goes, how'd you do that? I said, I didn't, you did. That's how it is. I just showed you how to do it. But anyway, he comes to me because he's never eaten fruits or vegetables since he was a little boy. He didn't know why. And I said, well, to be quite honest, as a hypnotherapist, I've never found anyone that consciously knows why they have an issue. They think they do, but when it comes down to the nitty-gritty with the subconscious mind, we hide it from our subconscious mind. We do some crazy things to ourselves. And this guy was an example, and he hid it away from himself because I said to him, why have you got this thing? He goes, I don't know, ever since I was small, I just never eaten fruits or vegetables. You know, my wife gets annoyed because we can't go out to restaurants, we can't eat together, I can cut them up, I can cook them, but I can't eat them myself. And I said, that's weird. Okay, fair enough, let's find out. So once through the session sort of thing, it was something so trivial that he'd forgotten about, obviously, hidden away from himself. It was when he was little, his nan was feeding him bananas and custard. Now the bananas were just off, they were just not right, and they got that sort of texture to them. That was all it was. That was it. That set him off to see, well, fruits, I don't want them anymore, and I think they match vegetables, so I'm going to lock that in my mind as well. So I don't want to eat fruits or vegetables anymore. Remind me never to eat them again, subconscious mind. And that's what happens. It does it without question. So every time he goes near fruits or vegetables, his subconscious mind goes, hey, remember, you're not eating that. And that's how he did it. So we just said, right, okay, let's change that emotion that you've been speaking about. Let's change that emotion that you had with that. Once we've done that, the first thing he done after the session, went straight to the shop, bought some bananas, ate them, filmed it, showed me it. His wife texted me and said, thank you very much. We've been out for a meal together for the first time in years. Thank you very much for all that. This is how it works. It's, if you want change, I'll show you how to do it, where to find it, how to resolve it, and live your life a better way. That's how we do it. That's how we work, isn't it?
It is, and it doesn't take long, does it? It's not come back now so you can talk about it for the next 20 years. You know, and it, like you said, it's always very surprising. I had a client with panic attacks, and she was like, I really don't know where it began. So we went back to her route, and actually the power of suggestion is a thing, isn't it? So much, because she'd got a friend when she was at primary school. My client fainted because she hadn't had much. It was a hot day, I think it was sports day. She hadn't had anything much to drink or eat all day, so she fainted. But her friend said, oh, you're having a panic attack, I have those. And there she is, been in therapy 20 odd years because of that. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is. It's incredible. The root cause, I love it so much because it's, you know, I listen to what they think it is. I'm like, okay, let's just go with the flow and see. It might be that, it might not be that. Very often it isn't, but more often than not, it isn't.
Yeah, I've always asked people consciously, where does it come from? I had a lady who was scared of heights. She said, when I was 10 years old, my dad fell off a ladder. That scared me. But it really happened when she was 3 years old. She see somebody else fall off a ladder. She hid that away. You know, there's all sorts of things that we do to our
minds. And then her dad falling off the ladder compounded that fear.
Yeah, absolutely. Trigger all the way through her life, which changed. So
it's true. See, it's true. You know, and it's funny, isn't it? What we experience in our outside world is an absolute mirror image of what we believe inside. It's so funny how we get 100% of what we believe. So if you don't like your reality, change your beliefs, because that is so powerful. You are the radio station transmitting all this frequency. And so change your frequency by changing your emotion, because it's all energy. Emotion is energy in motion. So change your energy, change your frequency. Guess what happens? You get a total transformation. It's transformational in your manifestation, if you like, of your reality. And it's also transformation in your health and wellness. Beautiful. It's a win-win.
Oh gosh, yeah, without a doubt. And it's just so fascinating. Again, it's just the unexplained and finding out. That's because I love doing this. It is the unexplained. When a client comes to me, sometimes clients come to me and say, I'm coming for you for weight loss. I'm coming for you for something else. In fact, it's something completely different when they're here sitting in the chair. And I work with that, and you've got to adapt to changes that you've got. But going through who's good for hypnotherapy, who's good, what sort of age group are we looking at? Well, any age is good. And I mean, children are fantastic because they've got such an imagination, which is great. The youngest child I've done was 5 years old, and the oldest person I've done was 94. And funny enough, the 94-year-old loved it so much, he wanted me to come back and just do it again for no reason at all. He goes, I just love you doing it. It's just brilliant. He goes, do it again to me. I said, no, we've done what we need to do. But anyone that wants change, and it has to come from that person within. If you want change, and I keep repeating this, if you want change 100% for yourself, not for anyone else, but for yourself, then it's going to work every single time, and you'll live a better life. It's just fascinating.
Yes, absolutely it is. It's the roots to me as well. It's just and understanding weight is quite a beautiful one, actually, because sometimes it goes back to happy memories, and so you're eating because you're remembering like what grandma gave you whatever when you were a little one. Or it could be that you've put yourself in a box and you can only have I think it's Gay Hendricks talks about putting an upper limit and you say you've put yourself in this little box and you can only live within these perimeters. And so that was a weight issue before as well, which was quite exciting, just seeing how the subconscious mind it's not logical, it's emotional. So it's just seeing how it just pieces things together. And
I'm so glad you picked on weight, because again, it's another issue, another setup from something in your life. And there's many, many reasons. I think there were 17 reasons that I last looked at, were the main top reasons. There's comfort eating, boredom, reward, punishment. There's all sorts, portion over sugar addiction. There's all sorts of things why people have weight concerns. I've had people that want to gain weight. I've had people that want to lose weight. But the main thing hypnotherapy does is that we look at the core issue of why it happens. Why people yo-yo diet every year is because they haven't resolved the issue of why they do it. And I know that the weight loss clubs and everyone else, they hate us because we actually do something that's right for the person, sort of thing. I've had loads of people come see me for that. So we look at the root, we go, well, you're going to lose weight. You go to a weight loss club sort of thing. You'll lose weight, that's great. And then you'll stop and then you'll put it on and more. Why is that? Why do you yo-yo diet? The weight loss clubs want their clients to come back year on year. That's their business. That's how they make their money. But what we do is we resolve the issues why you keep putting the weight on. Why is it you can't stop at the end of the time when you give up, the weight loss, whatever it's club you're doing. So that's how we do it.
Ultimately, it's not their fault. It's the subconscious. None of it's your fault. It's your subconscious mind has just bought into stuff through it's just sort of absorbed it from somewhere. Usually it's to protect you, and it's to find the weight issues as to protect. So it could be protect you from unwanted people looking at you. It could be to protect you from being hurt, being sexually abused. It's that comfort blanket wrapping it around you like a big duvet. Why is it doing that? What is the root? Maybe, and it could be even a past life where you've been starved in a previous lifetime. So this lifetime, you've just decided that you need to keep holding on to food, and so that that doesn't happen again. Because that's why it's so difficult to go, it's this reason. I can't tell you consciously what it's all about, but your subconscious mind knows. And it's such a beautiful, this is why I say it's such a beautiful journey of self-discovery, because who knew that you were starved, five times back, it's about looking at how, when, where, why it began, and then, or maybe as a child, there wasn't much food and you just got moldy cheese on the table and help yourself. So it's there to protect you. So if you go through that again, you've got enough body weight to stop that happening. It doesn't understand that you're no longer 6. That's another thing, because the subconscious mind only understands the now moment, because time doesn't really exist the way we experience it on the planet. So the subconscious mind gets the reality, which is that every moment is only the now moment, right? So it doesn't understand that what happened when you were 6 is not likely to happen again. It just thinks, oh, that happened when you were 6. Let's just keep you safe by doing the thing, whatever the thing is, to stop it happening. And so it's just, you're not 6, you're not at school. That teacher, you're never going to meet him again, or the bullies, or whatever. And that's why I like working with adults more than children, because they have got past the thing that's hurting them. There's that big disconnect between the now and the then. So it's just looking at it and really seeing, but past, present and future doesn't really happen. It's only the now moment. And so it's the subconscious mind just thinking that thing could happen again.
Absolutely. No, you just reminded me, because one of the majority of the people that come out with the weight loss and why they do it sort of thing is, and I suppose a lot of people can still relate to this, is back in a time when they were small, is you're not getting down from the table unless you eat it all. That can put people off of food, that can make them portion controls for the rest of their lives. There's all sorts of links there that can cause that. So I know the parents, food was in a shortage sort of thing, and it was hard to come from, so trying to make their children eat, but it can have a negative effect on people, and they do live with it for the rest of their lives. So so weight loss is one of them. Smoking can be another one. Why do we begin to smoke? Because we want to look big and our peers, and everything else, and it just comes into a habit. But once that habit's there, we can help you break that habit. That's what hypnotherapists can do. I remember a lady that smoked for 46 years, never had a day off sort of thing for 46 years. And she come to one session, she stopped smoking, she couldn't believe it. She went back home. I had 4 people from over 100 miles away come to see me because that one lady stopped smoking. Now, I didn't stop her, she stopped herself, because I showed her how to do it. That's what we're there for. We will show you how to do it. We can't control your mind. I keep saying about that. We can't control anyone's mind. The myths are all about that. It's just, it's wrong. We can help whoever you are to help
guide, directing and guiding you to where you need to be, so that you're like, oh, I'm thinking of this. I don't know why I'm thinking of this, but this has just come to mind. I can't be in the right place. No, you absolutely are. 100% of the time. It's just, you've just surprised yourself that is, well, it's not the most scary thing that ever happened. No, but it's probably the first time you felt like that. So it's just really seeing it. I've lost my thread because you were talking about something really interesting, and it piqued my interest. Now it's gone.
Well, the thing is, we're going to talk about lots of other subjects as well. And you picked on past life regression, and we're going to do that again. We're going to do that because there's a lot of information.
There's lots of things, juicy stuff. Yes.
Yeah, but again, there's people that come to me for a certain thing. Yes, I'm helping them, say weight loss. And I remember a guy that came for weight loss sort of thing. And while he was there, he was talking, when we was having a chat beforehand, before we started sort of thing, he said about pain in his knee and everything else. And we just pick up as hypnotherapists certain things that people are struggling with. So I said, yeah, we're going to do your weight loss. So we've done that. And while I was there, I had a quick couple of minutes and went, let's just do some healing while he's relaxed. And the moment he woke up, he goes, oh, okay, my knee feels different. Okay, you just keep an eye on that. Let me know how you get on with that knee sort of thing. And a couple of weeks later, he said, do you know, that knee problem went. After I left your session, what did you do to my knee? Because it just went completely, it's just healed. I said, well, it helped you to heal it. I just showed you while you're relaxed how you can heal that pain. And we can do whatever we can to our own bodies, just through our mind. The meds and everything, I know the pharmaceutical companies and everything force the meds onto people, and then they force more onto them because it has to counteract what they're taking.
You have to say that they have their place, right?
Yeah.
But yes, it is. The body speaks to us in pain and symptoms. Pain in your right knee is telling you you're not moving on from something emotionally. That's all. So once you understand the message, you're like, well, what could that be? What was happening when it began? Oh, let me think. I hadn't, I need to move jobs, and I'm still feeling stuck about it. Right, well, I need to move past this relationship. It's really not serving me anymore. Okay, well, that's what it's about. What can you do? So it's just when you understand it, but awareness is key. And it's the awareness that we bring to the table, isn't it? Of allowing people to go, oh, well, isn't that curious that is the thing that's been, showing up in my life all the time, and I've got no idea.
So we're trying to get through. I know there's a lot of information we can put into this, and it could take lots and lots of hours just to explain a lot of things, and we're trying to do it in such a short time. But at the end of the day, it's just for everyone listening to this is, what's holding you back in life? What's restricting you? Do you want to carry on like that? And if you do, then happy days, you can carry on a journey. But if you don't, you want to stop something, we can help you do that. Because in a way, you set this up, we can help you unset that. You're the only person that can do that, and we can help you do that. So it's all about, what is it that you want to change for yourself? And we can help you do that in such a relaxing way as well. And the amount of people say afterwards, they don't know what hypnotherapy is, they don't know what hypnosis is, they've never done that before. And afterwards they go, that was so relaxing. I never knew it was going to be like that. And I said, I can't explain it to you until you've experienced it.
You've got to be in the moment of it. That's the thing, isn't it? It's not like saying, look at this beautiful dress. You've got to just explain. But it is so beautiful. You see it in your head, you piece it together, you link it, like, oh, well, isn't that, I get my clients to go to 3 scenes and then tell me how they linked. How does that influence your now? I emotionally thread them together, and they always get it, like, oh, wow, okay, are you ready to change it? Absolutely, of course they are. That's why they're there. So it's then it's about empowering it and breaking it down and releasing, and like you said, putting new emotions, more positive emotions in the place of truth, basically. Because none of us are unworthy, none of us are unlovable, none of us are all these fake stories, but that's all they are. They're the fake stories that you took on because of the past that made you believe stuff, because we have to make sense of the outside world. And we can't change the outside world. So the only thing we can is change our beliefs and thoughts about ourselves. Absolutely. So that's what trauma is. It's not the big scary monster beating you up. It's how it made you feel. It's not what happened so much as the emotions you've attached to it. I'll just share one more, and then I think we're probably up to stop. But there was a lady that I had. This is the most non-traumatic event that you could possibly imagine. So she's sitting on a set of stairs. That's it. She's listening to her parents talking. Not even about her. They're talking about her sister, who's 12 years older than she is. What does she make that mean? So much about herself. She's got to be the good kid. She can't be like her sister because she's out of, her sister's done something that their parents don't like. So she's got to be the really good, squeaky clean, never put a foot wrong person. She's got to be, there's so many things. She can't date people. She can't do this. She can't do that. She's restricted herself in so much in that one conversation. Even how her hair grew. She said, isn't that funny? My mum said, my hair's, it's so unruly. And she only ever has a short bob now because it won't grow. Isn't that amazing how the subconscious mind, so in that one conversation that wasn't even about her, that her parents didn't even know she was listening, it influenced her life incredibly. And so I wanted to share that just to show that you don't have to be held at knife point kind of trauma. It can just be a very simple conversation that you've overheard, but you made it mean something internally about you and it hurt you, and then the life just happens and carries on.
So again, at the end of the day, it's just a recap, is that everyone goes into hypnosis every day of their life anyway. It's no magic thing, there's no trance, there's no nothing like that. It's just a relaxing therapy that we can help you to find what's holding you back, restricting your life, and to change that. You can change that. Anyone can change whatever they want to do if they want it 100%, and that's what we're here for. But there's lots of other things we can talk about, and we will talk about in different times, the past life regressions, future life progressions, and everything that goes with it, psychic abilities. There's all sorts that we're going to bring up in different chats. But the first thing we just wanted to get through to people is that we're here. we're hypnotherapists. There's loads of us around in the world. We're here. We're not magicians or anything. We just know how to help people resolve their issues and problems, and it's so easy. And it's just getting that word out there, because if hypnotherapy didn't work, I wouldn't be here doing it. You wouldn't be here doing it, and that would be the end of the day. So I know it works. I've done it to myself. You've done it to yourself. We've done it to thousands of people already. So
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
that's what we got a passion for. So, but I just want to say to anyone that's listening is, if you've got any questions, you've got any doubts, or you don't understand certain things of what we've been speaking about, let us know, because we're happy to help. We're happy to answer them questions. And it is hard. It is hard for us to explain to people what hypnotherapy is. If you've never had it before, if you've never had a relaxing therapy to change things, it's hard to do until you've experienced it. But it is about evidence-based, and look up every always look up the people that we've helped and everything else, and you'll find the evidence there. So
Yes, that's right. I describe it really as it's like a guided meditation with a laser focus on the outcome you want.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
So that's it really. So thank you so much, Mark. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. I can't wait for our next conversation. And there's going to be, like we said, there's a series of them going to happen, so that because we've just got so much to talk about, so much to share. So thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, and I look forward to our next one.
Rachel, I'll tell you what, it's hard to hold back on the conversations, because we've got so much in-depth experience and knowledge and things we want to talk about, and it's just keeping it down to a short minimum time space, as you know. And thank you very much for inviting me and to be crossing paths with you and everything else, because we're going to cross paths with lots of more people and help them to help others too. It's not just us helping one person. Once we've helped that one person, they're going to go on to help other people in their life as well, and that's more of a passion as well.
Beautiful ripple. Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, what good way of saying it. Brilliant.
Thank you.
So yeah, until the next time, look out for us, because I don't know what the subject is next time, but it's going to be something absolutely fantastic.
Tuesday. Yes, absolutely. Thanks, Mark.
No worries. Take care.